have enough people in today that are here. Okay. Greetings of love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity, beloved. How are you all doing today? This is Dr. Keela. Hold on. I'm still doing some things upon it. Okay, there we go. Okay, so as promised, well, I didn't really make a real promise. I just said I would be here on Saturday at 4 o'clock, and ta-da, I kept my word. So I am here to answer your questions. If you have any, I will start talking, and I'm only here for an hour. Remember, this is just an hour show. So if you have any health questions that you want to ask me, you can. I titled today's stream The Importance of Self-Care because we was talking about last week about stress and people thinking that the emotion itself of stress is what caused you to get bloated or caused you to gain weight, or it is something that's I don't know how people got to that conclusion, but it was a really good, interesting conversation to have that will bring us to the realization of how important it is for us to have self-care, for us to care about our entire body, especially in this day and age. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, if you know what I mean. Because, I mean, there's a lot to what I'm saying, but there's a lot that I'm not saying, if you get where I'm coming from. So the thing about it is that we have now gotten to the point in life where we are ignoring the golden rules that have always worked in the past. And we always think that there's a new pill, a new method, a new this, a new that, a new machine that's going to get us the results that we're looking for. Especially, like, let's talk about weight loss for a second, just really quickly. People are always looking for a new gimmick to lose weight, when it's really just easy, provided that you don't have any type of medical condition, meaning you're not on any type of medication like the steroids. If you're not on prednisone, that type of steroid. So if you're not on those type of medications, that will definitely make you gain weight. No matter how much dieting you're going to do, that right there is counterproductive. But unless your ovaries have been removed, unless your what's another one? Your thyroid has been removed, or it has been radiated, and unless you're on some type of medication that's going to cause that type of side effects. Other than that, the simple, basic arithmetic to losing weight is you burn more calories out than you take in. It's really just that simple. It's really just that simple. And if you eat more living foods, what do I mean by living foods? I'm talking about your raw green vegetables, your raw fruits. All right. I think when you deal with a lot of variety of plants and a variety of produce that is in season, it's tomorrow will be August, and I can see already that watermelon season is about to go away. Now, I did enjoy the watermelon season while it was good. Now depending on where you are, if you're in Alabama, Mississippi, someplace where watermelon is growing plentiful, then that's great, especially if you're by that farm. But I'm in the area. I'm in the area where seeded watermelon. I don't eat seedless watermelon. Seedless watermelon is a hybrid, very, very low in nutrients, and it doesn't have that much of a medicinal effect on the body. You are just eating it to eat it. It is not even that sweet. I have had seedless watermelon versus seeded watermelon, and I don't see how anyone can eat seedless watermelon. I can't even comprehend that. How do you do that? It's, I guess when you grew up on real good watermelon, you can't eat the hybrid type of watermelon. I can't even do no seedless. I don't have no problem spitting out seeds. I know it's inconveniencing, but you're getting more of your nutritional and medicinal effects that comes with watermelon. So and that comes from Africa. I cannot believe black folks in all their ignorance do not know the history of watermelon. If it wasn't for watermelon, I would have to say a good 85 to 90% of these slaves during the transatlantic slave trade would have died. Don't you understand that the one thing that came with them was watermelon? And the reason why is because watermelon is high in vitamin C. What do you need vitamin C for? Scurvy. Scurvy is something that's very common for pirates and sailors or anyone who's getting on a ship that's going across seas. So scurvy, and that's the reason why they used to carry a whole bunch of oranges and lemons for the sailors who have gotten scurvy. Hey, Dark Star, who have gotten scurvy. So it's high in vitamin C. What else is watermelon high in? Watermelon is very high. And hey, Catherine, watermelon is very high in potassium. Why is that important? Well, potassium will prevent leg cramping. It will prevent the atrophy of the muscles. And during the slave trade, when you're in that one position for so many weeks, and we're talking about 2 to 3 months now, actually, during that time, you are constantly in that one position. Now, of course, they let them get up and go to the bathroom and, also walk around, but it wasn't that much. It was the watermelon that they were able to take with them to keep them alive. Because you can live more off of water than you can. You can live off without having food than you can water. Now, I'm going to think off the top of my head. I do believe you can live. Oh, no, I'm going to mess it up. I'm going to have to fact check myself. I'm going to say, I think you can live 3 weeks without food. Let me see. How many days can you live? There we go. Without food. Let's see. Okay. You can live up to 2 months. Oh, wait a minute. That can't be right without food. How long? Hold on. Let me. Hold on. Let's see. Okay. You can live. Oh yeah. Here we go. All right. No, it looks like some people can live up to 2 months without food. But most people if they have health issues, they probably can't. Okay. Thank you, Dark Star. 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water. I'm looking over here, and I'm looking at some of this stuff. They're saying that some people live in 2 months without food. I probably can do 2 months without food. Long as I got water, I'm going to probably not be able to walk around and do much of anything, but at least I'm going to survive. But, and this is the reason why I don't like water fasting. I'm against water fasting. And one of the reasons. So, watermelon not only gives a little bit of food, but it mainly to hydrate you. So that is the reason why watermelon is important. And if you are a knucklehead talking about what watermelon is, if you get triggered because somebody is serving watermelon to you, and you are associating with that, you're just a dumb head. You're just a dumb head. I really want to say something else, but this is the very rated PG channel. Yeah, exactly. Goldie, how you doing? It's very high in electrolytes. Watermelon. So the thing about it is that you need these type of fruits. And so when you start messing with them in a lab and making watermelon without seeds, It's just like having a woman without a womb. You know, like no, it's not. It's not complete. It's deficient. So anyway, I didn't mean to give a watermelon class here. I'm just basically talking about how you're supposed to eat fruits in season. Cherries are still in season right now. And oh my God, it's so hard to find organic cherries. I purchased some very expensive. I mean, when I say very expensive, like I had to think about like, whoa, do I want to pay in cash or I want to put a down payment on my credit card for these cherries? But I went out to Sprouts and I bought some organic cherries, which is something I do every year because cherries are one of the most medicinal type of fruits there is. It's one of the rare fruits where they have done a clinical testing to see if it is good for cancer prevention. Hey, Sherelle. Okay, sorry to be off topic, but I noticed a growing trend of women purposely getting hysterectomies. Isn't that unhealthy long term? Absolutely, it's unhealthy long term. It's absolutely unhealthy long term. It will take 15 years off their life, and the majority will expire and make that transition from some type of heart related illness. I lost a very dear friend. She was like a sister to me. She was a bodybuilder, and she had a hysterectomy when she was in her early 30s. And she had, what happened was she just went to the clinic because she was already on high blood pressure medication anyway because of the hysterectomy. She went to a clinic. I remember this. I'll never forget this because we talked almost every day on the phone. And so I said, hey, girl, so I said, listen, I got to go. I'm going to call you tomorrow. And then we'll talk about when I'm going to come down to Florida to see you. So tomorrow comes. I call. Nobody answers. I don't think nothing of it. Okay. I leave a message on her answer machine. And then I go on about my business. But the next day I didn't hear from her, which is so off. I was like, that is not like her. And I called down there again, and her daughter answered the phone and told me that she had a stroke in the clinic and she passed away. And that really hurt my heart. But it made me also reflect, like, how did she have a stroke in a clinic? And that's when I realized, like I thought about it after I calmed down, and I'm like, oh yeah, she had a hysterectomy in her 30s, but she was too young, in my opinion, to pass away. She passed away in her she was in her either her late. I gotta go back and look. Good gosh, I have her death certificate because I just wanted to really see for myself. She either passed away in her late 50s or her early 60s. Hey, JP. Depends if you keep your ovaries. That you may be right, Goldie. I have to look into that. You might be right. I can't even say yay or nay to that because it's been a long time since I looked into. It's been a long time since I looked into that. I got a book of all of this in my notes of everything dealing with the uterus, but I have been so out of practice. I'm back into I'm back into practice. I'm back into giving consultations to women again, but it's behind my paywall, and it's behind for those who are a part of my a roundtable group. These are the women who can come see me for anything dealing with female issues. But if you just have just general health problems, you don't have to be part of the roundtable. So there's that. But now that you mentioned, I'm going to have to go look that up. I really am going to have to look that up. I really can't even debate the issue. So that's I like that. I have to go research this again. I need to get back into the groove of things. Where's the link to sign up for the consultation, etc.? If it's not female related, when I mean by female related, meaning of fibroids, endometriosis, infertility, things like that. If it doesn't have anything to do with uh, your your um, your female organs, you can just go to celestialhealing.net and then go to the booking, I think, and just send an email and say you wish to have, because it's Dr. Mark, and I think he hired a nutritionist, and I think you just have to be specific if you want to deal with me. But if you want to deal with female issues, you have to go through my round table. So only women, because that's a way of me getting close to one way. For one, it's just basically, it cuts down on having a whole lot of people contact me. Yeah, you would have to. Unfortunately, you have to go. Not unfortunately, that is a fortunate thing. You have to go through the round table. Is this in my links? Hold on a second. Let me see if it's in my. Yeah, it is. The links is available in my in the description box to join the round table. The round table, by the way, let me just go ahead and let me just go ahead and promote the round table. The round table is something I created when I decided to come back into consultation for women issues, but I wanted to be in a way where it wasn't so easy to get to me. As some of you all know, I was the number one naturopath who was for fibroid elimination, for infertility reversal, and also for any women suffering from endometriosis and ovarian cysts. Anything dealing with your reproductive organs, I was the go-to woman. At the time, had the highest referral rate, and I got so popular. And then I raised my price so many times to kind of like ward off people for, so I can get my client load to lighten up. It didn't matter. Women it was worth paying me the price that I had jacked up because they know they was going to get results. So after a while, I started to get upset with women telling me how to do my job, like women who don't want to stop eating hamburgers, women who don't want to stop drinking that coffee. That was a big thing right here. They're going to negotiate with me about coffee. Well, what if I just had decaf? Decaf is worse than regular coffee. I don't know if you guys know that. Okay, decaf. And by the way, decaf does not mean caffeine free. I don't know where people get that from. Decaf means a decrease in caffeine. So instead of it being 100% caffeine, it's just 60% caffeine, but it's still caffeine. It's not caffeine free. There is no such thing as caffeine free coffee. There is no such thing as caffeine free chocolate. There is no such thing as caffeine free black teas. And there is no such thing as caffeine free green tea. There's no such thing. Okay. They got decaf, means they have decreased the caffeine. How did they do it? They did it with chemicals. So you might as well. So you're sitting here saying, oh, well, in exchange for less caffeine, I'm going to get all these chemical process that it does to decaffeinate it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Y'all probably didn't know that. Yeah, there's two words, decaffeinated and caffeine free. Both words mean two different things. You can look it up in the dictionary. Decaf does not mean caffeine free. So when I tell these women, no, you can't, black teas are anything, any tea that has caffeine, okay, is not going to be caffeinated free. The only caffeinated free teas are your herbal teas. And I do not consider green tea a herbal tea at this moment because they have done a lot of things to green tea. So I'm not going to put green tea on that herb list. Black teas, green teas, I never promote those type of teas. Peppermint tea, caffeine free. Eucalyptus tea, caffeine free. Red raspberry tea, caffeine free. I can go on and on and on and on, okay? Just look at the wording and it'll say caffeine free. That's what you want to deal with. but there's never been a caffeine-free coffee. And these women would sit up here, and I get it, coffee is addictive. And so I would say, you're addicted to coffee. So why don't you pay for my caffeine detox program that will detoxify that out of your system, okay? I don't know what mushroom coffee is. I never heard of it. That's my first time hearing about mushroom coffee. Yeah, hibiscus tea is caffeine free and it's very delicious. Now, why did you mention that, Dark Star? Now I want it. I ain't got no hibiscus in here either. Oh, I love that tea. And I think the reason I love that tea is because that tea has a psychological effect with it. A very good nana that I used to know way back in the day. She has such good energy, And when I came over, I remember she was brewing her hibiscus tea in her steel pot. She's no longer here anymore, but and she was like, baby, I'm going to give you some of this hibiscus tea. And it was so delicious. And I think I was talking to her about my problems and drinking that tea and having a wise elder listen to me by giving me some good advice was just so therapeutic. But I do remember that tea was absolutely delicious. And I've loved it ever since. But anyway, so yeah, so you got to look for caffeine free. So anyway, I have a program that will detoxify people who are addicted to caffeine via coffee. And they didn't want to do it. So I was like, well, then, okay, you're not going to be part of my program anymore because I'm about results. I'm not here to be your friend. I'm not here for you to love me. I'm here for me to do my job. The job that you pay, the job that you paying all that money for me to do. And a lot of times women were like, well, I can go see this woman. I can see that woman. I don't have to do what you're doing. She said I could drink coffee on seldom occasions. I could drink like half a coffee, half a cup, and I still can shrink my fibroids. I said, well, then go see her. I said, but you will not shrink your fibroids under those conditions. And every last woman I said will not get pregnant. Every last woman I said will not shrink her fibroids. Every last woman I said will not stop her long periods if she don't do the program I submitted to her. If she still want to drink coffee, I guess what? None of them proved me wrong. So I got bitter about it. I got angry, and and by the way, I was so burnt out. I was so overworked, and I took a sabbatical. I think the sabbatical lasts for like what, 4 years? I think. Hold on. 2005, 4 years. The sabbatical lasts for 4 years, and I came back under certain conditions. The conditions was I will accept anyone, anybody can make an appointment if they didn't have any female health related issues. But if they had any female related health issues, they had to go through my roundtable program. Now, what is my roundtable program? My roundtable program consists of women. It's like a sisterhood, and I know every last one of them personally. I know their personality. I know their stats, height, weight. I know their health issues. I know everything about them. That way, it's more closer, and therefore you have to go through several, you have to be there for 30 days because there's a lot of videos that I have done over a year and a half. I created that roundtable because of the censorship here on YouTube. And so because of the things I was not allowed to say here on YouTube, I was able to say free and clear in that roundtable, and I did. And because of that, I was able to give out a lot of pearls and record those videos. But here was the biggest thing. Those women were allowed to have direct access to me every Tuesday to ask me any kind of health related questions to their reproductive system, anything dealing with their mental health. And they were also the only women in there who are allowed to schedule an appointment for anything dealing with their reproductive system. So if they have fibrocystic breasts, if they have endometriosis, ovarian cysts, fibroid tumors, infertility, anything dealing with HPV, any of that, they were able to schedule appointments with me because they were part of that table. Because I knew coming back open was going to put me back in that situation where you're going to have women who don't really appreciate the craft. I used to make a joke of this a long time ago, but it turned out to come into fruition now. This is what I said, and this was when I started to get stressed. I think I said this around about 2009. I said, people want everything now. No one want to work hard for it. You want to eat what you want to eat. You want to drink whatever you want to drink, and you don't want to deal with the consequences and repercussions of this. And I said, and now we have gotten so spoiled because we don't have to depend upon the land to eat. We don't have to depend upon our neighbors to survive. We can sit on our butt and have food come to us. That right there is food delivery, in my opinion, has caused more health problems. Well, not more. Let me take that back. It's a contributor to a lot of health problems. Because I think if we had to live like our ancestors did, if we had to farm the land, if we had to grow our food, we would be very, very healthy. And we depend upon convenience now, and that has detrimental effects. Nobody wants to listen to that. No one. And so I said back then, I said, you know what? I wish it would get to the point where I live way, way, way in the boondocks, like way out in nowhere land. And in order for you to see me, you had to know someone that saw me. Because that's how, back then, the only way you could make an appointment with me, you had to be referred to me. And it had to be a credible referral, because I kept a very tight and confidential list of women I saw. And so those women would have to refer someone else to me. You just couldn't just up and say, oh, I saw you on YouTube. I'm making a point. Because I needed other people to tell these young ladies how my personality is. It's very alpha. It's very dominant. It's a very no-nonsense attitude. I don't have that, oh, sweetie, that's right. I'm compassionate, but I'm not going to give you a pity party. If you sit up here and say, Dr. Keel, I want to lose 50 pounds by my wedding. And I go, well, how much you weigh right now? Well, I weigh about 230 pounds. And that makes you like 60 pounds overweight now? And you want to lose 50 of that in 3 months? I'm going to say that's not going to happen. I ain't no miracle worker. All right. And then in the process of telling you the truth, like, you're not going to lose 50 pounds in 3 months. That's not possible unless you're going to wire your mouth shut or get some kind of surgical or procedure. But if you diet and exercise, healthy diet and exercise is not going to be possible. So they'll get mad about that. And then when I tell them, okay, let's get you on an exercise routine as well as a diet plan, right? They want to revise it. And so when you try to revise my skill, my craft, my expertise, you get cussed out. And that's what they didn't like. They didn't like me like saying, I don't know who you think you are, but you paid me to do my job. And so that's how I am. And the reason why I'm that way is because I have an excellent track record. I have thousands upon thousands of women worldwide who are actually saying, I wouldn't have this baby if it wasn't for Dr. Akila. I wouldn't have my man if it wasn't for Dr. Akila. I wouldn't be fibroid free if it was Dr. Akila. When you have that type of results, you get to do like, that's the way I have to be like a general. Anyway, so with the round table, it is for people to get to know me and to see if this is the route you want to take before you go down that aisle. So, and I deal with getting back to the topic at hand because, as you all know, at the top of the hour, I'm out of here. So if you have any questions, any health questions whatsoever, make sure you go ahead and type it into the chat. So anyway, getting back to self-care. So we got to a point now where we see more people have self-hatred than anything. And when you do have problems with yourself, it will show internally as well as externally. And a lot of things that I always put emphasis on is your mental health. We are now in the age where subliminal suggestions are all around you. And a lot of you all are not aware of it. And a lot of times I have to tell people, hey, you got to be aware of people that you got to be aware of the subliminal messages. You got to be aware of the hypnosis that is going around you on a constant basis. So like earlier today, one of you was talking about so many women are getting their uterus taken, they're getting hysterectomies. That has been a psychological conditioning that has been going on for years now, decades even, to tell women that their uterus is not that important if they don't want kids. Not knowing that a lot of women who get a hysterectomy also have problems gaining weight because of that, because of the uterus producing hormones. You need your uterus, whether you're going to make babies or not. And I think a lot of times, a lot of women don't really appreciate the power that it is that makes us men with wombs. And when I say wombs, W-O-M-B. Okay? That's why we are womb men, which is short for woman. And then you just have men. Because there is more power in having your uterus than it is not having your uterus. So dealing with self-care is first dealing with your mind. Isn't the subliminal message about population control? It could be, but it's just about control, period. I wouldn't even say population control. I would have to say control, period. To tell you what to do, to tell you where to go, to tell you what to say, to tell you what to drink, to tell you what to eat, to tell you who to listen to tell you who to ignore, to tell you how to behave, to tell you what you can and cannot say. That's all about control, period. And the only way you can control someone is with fear. If you are afraid of someone, they can control you. If you are afraid of something, it can control you. But if you're not afraid of someone, that person cannot control you. If you're not afraid of something, that thing cannot control you. And you can insert someone with anything, any person out there, and something with any current event that's happening right now. In order to control someone, you have to, fear is a must. That is a must. Look at what you call your abusive relationships that are going on right now between couples. One is controlling the other through fear. See, if I'm not scared of you, you can't control me. And if you're not scared of someone, they can't control you. If you're not scared of something, and this goes into hospitals, this goes into doctors. Many of you go into the hospital scared. I get it. I totally get it. I don't. I go in there like I'm going into the battlefield. I made a promise to myself that last time in 2008 when I was in the hospital, I said never again. But I was never in there in fear. I was in there like a soldier because I'm like, I don't trust these lab coat people known as medical doctors. I just don't trust them. And if they said something to me that was crazy, I would challenge them on it. I would basically question them about it. I would make them prove what it is that they're trying to do. They don't like that, honey. Oh, no. No, 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 no. And then they try to instill fear into me. And what I would do, I would reject it. I said, that ain't going to happen. But and I could tell that, and by the way, when I said it didn't happen, it didn't happen. I can tell that they're not used to that. Because if they say, if you don't let me give you this, that this is going to happen. I'm like, no, it's not. And the anger that will go on their face, it's like, how dare you, you little mortal, how dare you tell your deity what they can and cannot do. But they're so used to people being submissive to them. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some things you have to listen to. But I don't deal with that fear mongering. Nothing. You can't scare me. I don't play that. I don't scare easily. So a lot of times you all give up your power when you see someone that you think has power over you. And I also think that I think that once we have lost the touch of ourselves, and I never normally get religious here, okay? Never normally get religious here. But I'd have to say this. The fact that people have now replaced government with God. So you have atheism has grown drastically in the last 5 years. So we all have to believe in something. There is a song by Arrested Development. Yeah, Fishing for Religion. That's what it is. Fishing for Religion. So when people begin to leave one religion, they have to replace it with another. So you have some people who will replace religion with a lifestyle like veganism. Then you have some people who will replace religion with government. Okay? Or you have some people who will replace religion with a particular group of people. We all have to believe in something. And one of the things about religion was that we all said we have God within us. And that meant we concentrated within the power within this body. But when people begin to lose faith in a deity of any sort, I don't care what religion, then you start focusing on the outside instead of the inside. And when you stop focusing on your inside, your internal power, you give it away to someone who will control it. You give your power away to someone who will be your puppet master and will attach the strings to your arms, your legs, your head, your neck, your body, everything like that. They will pull your strings, tell you what you can and cannot do. Now, most people like it like that. They call sheeples. They like to be told what to do. Then there's a little bit of us, small percentage of us is like, I'm my own person. I got this. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I'm my own person. I have my own mind. I can think critically for myself. So that's the thing is with losing religion or losing spirituality, it takes us away from focusing on our inner self. It takes us away from focusing on who we are. I was talking about this in the roundtable last week. One of the most precious things I love to say, which I've taken from Rastafarians, is the I and I. Such a powerful saying. And if you talk to Rastas, the way they talk, it can't help but focus on themselves. Here's why they live long time. Here's why, now, minus the whole ganja smoking. Okay, that to me, that's a disadvantage. But other than that, they eat well and they believe in living healthy. But when you listen to a Rasta talk, they always say they don't say me. They always go di, the I, di, you know, di. I can't even mock how they talk. But they always focus on saying I instead of me or mine, because they're knowing that they are a spiritual, their spiritual manifestation is only existing on this earth in human form. We are all spiritual beings living here and expressing ourselves in our human form. When the human body can no longer host the spirit or the soul within our body, then that goes, where it goes, I don't know. That's the part, right? I don't have an answer to it. Some people say heaven, some people say hell, some people say in limbo, some people say it gets reincarnated. It's one of life's many mysteries. But the thing about it is that if you don't focus on who you are and the health of your body and understanding that if you came here in this earth to live in existence and to have a certain type of experience, then you will neglect your body. And don't get me wrong, we all have our faults, we all have our downfalls, we all are, what is the saying I have to say? We all fall short. I get it. None of us is perfect. But there are people like me. There are people like there are other things that come into your life that reminds you, hey, get your act together. Work on improving yourself. You want to live a quality life for a long time, not a life of pain. Nobody wants to live long in pain. What's the point of that? You want to live a quality life. Painless, free, happy, going through your trials and tribulations, but understanding that they are only temporary, and then the sun will come up tomorrow. There's always a sunrise after every storm, but you all think the storm is going to be forever. Oh, Lord, it's still storming outside. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my God. Sun going to come out eventually. But you're not focusing on that. But while it is storming, take cover. Protect yourself. Take care of yourself so that you can enjoy the sunshine. What you think happening right now? Right now. I can't talk about it because we on the YouTubes. Okay? So I'm going to talk in code. But right now, what do you think is happening right now, huh? What you think? What you think is happening right now? Do you think that what's happening right now is not reminding us of how we need to focus on self-care? Starting with our mind, starting with our body, how we think, what we put in our mouth, who we listen to. Y'all don't think so? It's always going to be something new when it comes to these people. But getting back, you definitely have to get to the point where you have to understand that we have to now take accountability for what we do, and how we do it. And so, what are the ways of living a healthy life? Well, let's start really quickly with the mindset. Are you stressed? Why are you stressed? Stress in itself is something that has, it's an unfinished issue. Everybody who's stressed, there's something that's not finished, unfinished business or unfinished situation, unfinished living situation, unfinished circumstances. There's no closure to it. Once there's closure, there is no stress. And closure can mean a lot of different things. Walking away, leaving it, solving the problem, tackling it head on. There's several ways of dealing with closure. There's several ways you can bring closure to something. But if it's something that you're like, okay, I can't bring closure to it, but it's still stressing me out, then that's when you go through certain ways of eliminating stress. One of my favorite ways is walking. And if you can get outside, if you live in an area where it's safe for you to walk outside, or you can go to some park that's safe to walk with a friend, if it's safe to walk by yourself, get out there and start walking. Ain't got to be a fast walk. I'm a fast walker though. I love fast walking. Go out there and start walking. Go get, and just start getting into some kind of activity that's going to keep you moving. We have been so stationary. How many of y'all been out? Press 1 if you went outside today. Hold on, let me get some water. I went outside. I needed some sun, even though I take a lot of vitamin D3. So none of y'all went outside today. Okay, there you go, Miss Desiree. Okay, Miss Desiree went outside. Good for you, girl. I went outside today. I don't know. Something wasn't feeling right with me today. I had a slight fever. I took my temperature, and my temperature was 99. And I was like, what is going on? So I drank some water. Go all right, Goldie. All right. Come on, Dark Star. Girl, it's wasn't it? It's what is it? It's 2:00 over there where you at, or 3:00? No, what is it? Probably going on. Oh man, it's almost time for me to get off here. Anyway, I go outside every day, anytime, especially when I had to go to my car. But I went outside just to stand in the sun because I'm thinking, like, I wonder is the vitamin D I'm taking, I wonder does it have, I need to actually be in the sun. Now it's hot outside. But, and I know you're thinking like, well, wow, you went out there with a bit of a fever and you stood out there in the sun? Yep, and guess what? An hour later, fever gone. Fever gone. That's what I'm talking about. Listening to your intuition. Listening to your intuition. I was like, something's not right. And I just said, well, let me just go out there and just sit in the, I was out there for a good 15 minutes. Okay, I was like, I'm gonna just stand out here until I start sweating. And once I start getting little beads on my forehead, I was like, okay, that's enough. Came back in the house, drank some water. I started to clean up the kitchen. I came back, sat down. I think I had some paperwork to do. And then all of a sudden I started feeling better and I took my temperature. I'm fine now. 97. Doc, how do you personally deal with family who are afraid of catching the jitterbugs? Oh, wow. That is such a good question. You can't help other... Fear is something that has more power than you. The only thing you can do is educate them and then let it go. Once again, let it go. Educate them and then let it go. That is their experience. They have to go through it. And those who have ears will hear what you have to say. Those who are third eye is open will see what you are showing them. But understand, the masses, most people are here to be followers, not leaders. And I would go to the famous saying about the percenters. You have the 10%, and you have the 85%, and then you have the 5%ers. The 85% are the masses of those who don't know that they don't know. The 10%ers know what they don't know, okay? And the 5%ers, but I'm sorry, the 10%ers know what they don't know, but know that they can control the masses with what they don't know, but what the 10%ers know. And then you have the 5%ers that want to just free the 85%ers that don't know and let them know, hey, you are the master of your own body. You control your own destiny. You have the power. Don't give it to the 10%ers. So you're going to have those of us who are the very, 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 very few who knows what's up, trying to wake up the 85%. And I got some bad news. They're not going to wake up. I think if I want to do a numbers game, if you're talking to 10 family members, only one of them will wake up and see what you're talking about, while the other 9 are still going to live in fear. And that's how it is. Consider yourself, those of you who are listening to me, consider yourself the blessed one, the chosen one. Okay, when it deals with the biblical term of the chosen ones are the enlightened ones. Chosen ones are the people who know what they don't know. And they also are the ones who know what's up. We are the ones who are not easily fooled. And we are the ones who knows what we need to do for our own health and well-being. Sometimes we'll fall off the wagon. Sometimes we'll fall off and we'll get lost in the wilderness. And that's supposed to happen. Okay? But then there are certain situations that will bring you back to where you're supposed to be. Okay? So there's that. And I think you all should be proud of yourself. But when it comes to family members, when it comes to family members, that's a hard one for you all. Cause see, I walked away from my biological family. Okay, and you have to let them live their experience. I'm gonna say this one thing, and then we'll go ahead and close it out if you guys don't have any more questions. You guys heard me share this while I was active on this channel with my aunt. My dear aunt, loved like my mom. I love her more than my mom. She was better of a mother to me than my own biological mother. She was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Money made no difference to me. As soon as I found out, I took the immediate plane from Germany all the way back over here to Georgia, got off at the Atlanta airport, rented a car, came back to my house, and then took that same rental car and drove about, thank you, strong gift from God. I appreciate that $5 donation. I Oh, it's a cute little tiger saying good job. And I drove from my home to Savannah. And I came in there and hospice was already in there. I was like, wait a minute. She was diagnosed on a Monday, and here it is Wednesday, and hospice is in here already. So I had to talk to her. I said, we got to get hospice out of here, Auntie. Got to get them out of here. She was just afraid to do it. She didn't want to hurt their feelings. Now, I'm not going to go into the long story short, but I was there because I was there to do everything I can to get her to stay alive. I have helped my aunt beat so many things. I have helped my aunt stop. Remember, I told you guys about the heart attack? Cayenne pepper, liquid cayenne pepper. She did that. She did not have any damage because of that. She probably would not have been here that long. She probably would not have been on this earth that long if she not have followed a lot of my instructions. I have helped her get off of so much medication, a lot of blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so you know I was going to give her all my all for this because I did not want her to leave. But she was surrounded by so many people who was in her ear. And you guys got to be careful of who you have in your ear. You got to be careful who you let tell you things that are not true. But she surrounded herself with people who were celebrating her soon-to-be passing. Okay? You remember the liquid cam? Yes, it works. It works. It really works. Anyway, I realized I could not beat. I was no match towards those people, and I gave up. But I didn't give up like saying, "Oh, Auntie, you're not gonna be here no more." So, you're gonna die. So, okay, I didn't do any of that. I just kept that to myself. I just sat there. I spent several hours with her. Even when she slept, I sat there with her. And then I wanted to remember, because I wasn't coming to no funeral. I made sure that the last visual thing I saw of her was her smiling and saying she loved me. So when I walked away knowing I was never going to see her again in the physical light. Okay, in the physical realm. You have to be brave enough to do that, beloved. That takes strength. I get it. But when it comes to family, you can't live their life for them. You understand? You got to let them go through what they go through. And I know it's going to hurt. That hurt me to my heart. It took 2 years, probably a little bit more for me to get over that. But it is what it is because I knew what was going to happen. So you all going to have to learn to let your family live their experience, and because it's their life lessons, not yours. Okay? All righty. So that concludes today. We will not have a live stream next Saturday, but there will be one, let's see, on the 14th. Okay? There'll be one on the 14th. And then I will upload some. I'm glad you need to hear that strong gift from God. And I'm glad you got it, Georgina. Yeah. So I think I'm going to do I'm going back into YouTube Shorts. So it'll be some uploaded next week. And then, yeah, I'll just stay subscribed, hit the bell, and I'll do another one of these, not next Saturday, but the Saturday after that. Okay? So with that being in mind, you all, thank you so much for coming by for my live stream Q&A. And I leave you as I approach you with the blessings of love, peace, health, happiness, and prosperity. You all have a wonderful, blessed weekend.